What is going on, everyone? My name is Joseph Reynolds of LowKickMMA. Today, joining me is Raufeon Stots. He's finally getting in there with Mr. Danny Sabatello. It's a fight. It's had a great build-up. Everyone's talking about it, whether the casual fans, hardcore fans, it doesn't matter which sort of fan they are. They're talking about this fight. How are you feeling for it, buddy?
Man, I'm feeling great, man. I'm ready to get in there and put my fist through Danny's mouth.
100%. And then you look at this fight as well. This must be one of those victories where it's going to feel so much sweeter in terms of how this progress has been. Is that how it's feeling, knowing that this victory will be a lot sweeter for you?
Yeah, definitely, man. I cannot wait, just because I know it's going to feel really good, to see the look on his face or, see, how I inflict pain upon him. I think it'll be super fun.
100%. And also, you've spent a bit of time around him in person, obviously. On the Ariel Helwani show, we tried to take the belt. Obviously, that one sort of backfired a little bit. It seemed to just go straight back to you, and then a few other things. But in terms of seeing his demeanor and his character around you, and cameras are on, cameras are off, how do you think he feels sort of being around you? Do you sense a little nervous, or do you feel as though he's just as confident as you?
No, I think he's had enough. I think he's had enough of being around me, which tells me, that he's annoyed and I'm in his head. I don't think he likes it. I don't think he likes being like where I feel like I enjoy. Like I enjoy the talking shit because I know what's gonna come. Like, okay, you're gonna talk shit, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. So. Like I enjoy, like keep it coming, please give me more fuel for my fire. Him, I don't feel that he's enjoying this because I think he knows at the end there's gonna be a lot of pain involved, yeah. So yeah, I don't think he likes it, but I'm liking. I feel like the more it goes up, just the more freaking. Granted, I'm ready to fight him now, but the more he talks and the more he says stuff, the more, malice I can put to it behind, some of my strikes.
100%. And when you have this, obviously, I believe you, to try and clear a little bit, in the Josh Hill fight, you said, and that was someone that you liked when you fought him. And now, obviously, getting in there with someone you don't like, is that giving you a completely different mentality in terms of being in this fight? And do you feel as though it's going to be sort of a different sort of mindset when you are finally inside the cage with him?
Yeah, I think it's different. It's like, it's not like personal, but it's probably as close as you can get to personal for me. Because I don't have like outside of fighting, I don't have no other reason, outside of me being in a tournament and fighting him, I have no reason to like hate him. But I don't like the way he carries himself. I don't like, the way he talks to other people. I don't know, like the way he portrays, himself. Like I don't like those things. So yeah, like Josh Hill, Keith Lee, like a lot of these other guys, I can like respect them as men. I can't respect this guy as a man. And that's why I call him a bitch a lot. I think he hides from adversity. I think not only in the fight, but like how he carries himself in a day-to-day life. I think he also everything he says is kind of a facade to what he's actually, trying to accomplish. So yeah, it's just things I just can't align with.
Yeah, and then obviously taking a look at the other semi-finalist bout that's going on as well. Obviously, you've already fought Magomedov before, and you were able to get the win. And then there's Pachimits in there. Do you see one of those two in the final? Which one of those two do you see in the final if once you get past this fight?
Man, to be honest with you, I'm it's a toss-up for me, man. I go back and forth. I go from Magomed, I think Magomed has good tools. I think he has a more well-rounded game. But also go for Pachimits because of his length and how he's improved on his feet and his savviness on the back in situations where Magomed, tends to be sometimes, but I don't know. So I don't know. I can't tell you, man. I don't even know.
And obviously, I'm sure it's more by your own skills than an opponent's, but obviously having the win already over one of the semi-finalists in the other semi-final, would he be the person that you'd rather face in the final, knowing that you've already got the mental edge, and obviously you fought him and beat him as well, so you've got the edge there? Do you feel as though he's the person if you could pick who was joining you in the final, that'd be the person you faced?
I think for me, I'd rather a fresh matchup, you know. Yeah, I just rather a fresh matchup just because I want to clean out everybody in the division. And I feel like I beat Magomed. Granted, if I fight Magomed again, I feel that it'll be a tougher fight than I had the first time because I believe that he knows my strengths now. He knows he can't come and run me over straight away, you know. So I think he'll present a tougher fight this time, you know. But yeah, as far as like who, I'd rather a fresh matchup. But I'm sure, you know, and then also Patchy Mix, I can talk to a little bit too. There's no language barrier. So like I got some things I'd like to say to him. But yeah, other than that, I guess it don't really matter.
100%. And then also just taking a look back at your semi-final bout, obviously it's a very high-profile fight. I think anywhere you go on MMA, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you go, there's always people talking about the news, especially when there's obviously you have the DST there with a little prompt press conference and all these things. Do you feel as though this fight, not only is it allowed you to sort of step up another level in your fighting, but also in popularity as well? It seems with every fight you're always increasing in popularity, but this seems like the one that can really push your trajectory straight up. Do you feel as though this fight is going to do that for you as well?
Yeah, I think so. And I think also I needed Danny Sabatello to bring that out, you know. I needed someone who was gonna like present enough opposition, you know. I feel like before, you know, a lot of people just, I mean, they see me running over people, you know what I mean? So it's not like someone who's like talking back to me. It's not people that's like that say they have a chance against me, you know. And I'm also I'm a good guy and he's just like a terrible person, you know. Like he's a guy that a lot of people just, you know, he's a polarizing person, let's just say. So it's easy for people to not, you know, get behind him, get behind me. So we got kind of that going for us. So yeah, I think this is definitely, you know, it's good for my career. It's good for like upping my popularity. I don't think the fight will be worth shit, but unless you like one-sided, just you know, maliciousness, you know. Yeah, I think overall the build up to this fight and the fight itself is super good for my career.
100%. And I think even if it is one side, I'm sure there'll be a lot of maybe past opponents, even future opponents from that'll look at it and it'll feel just as sweet as them maybe. But obviously, this is a very high-profile fight in the card as well. There's a lot of people talking about it. Obviously, we've got Liz Camus versus Juliana Velasquez on there, the other semi-finalist bout. To be on this card with these sort of people and be main eventing, what does that sort of mean to you from the start of your Bellator journey or even just the start of your MMA journey to look where you are at now?
Yeah, I just look back and just, you know, I'm impressed, you know, at how I went about it, how I'm, you know, proving a lot of people right in my life. And I'm proud, you know. There's obviously, you know, I got so much potential left to attain, but it's cool to look back and be like, man, yeah, I'm here. Like I'm like main eventing. This is my card. This is like everybody's coming here to see me, you know. So yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, and then obviously you're already at the top of the rankings in your division, but now looking at the pound for pound rankings as well, I believe at the moment you're number 10.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
yeah, I'm in the top. That's crazy. I'm in the pound for pound rankings. A little kid from Acres Home, Houston, Texas, is in the pound for pound rankings in the world promotion. You know, that's crazy.
And it is phenomenal to see. And do you know, is the goal now to try and push for that number one, or are you just staying focused on this tournament and getting the win there, and then looking at the next goal?
You know, I feel like that stuff is for other people. For me, I am number one. But no, for me, like I want to this whole MMA game for me is like self progression. You know, I don't say like I'm the best in the world for other people. Like I don't gain confidence or lose confidence, you know, from what other people say about me. You know, I gain it from what I believe and what I know and what I've earned through myself, you know. So like that stuff, like it's cool to see and it's cool to be mentioned with these guys, and it's cool, but ultimately, you know, my confidence come from myself, and that's who I'm like trying to impress, you know.
100%. And you mentioned there in terms of where you came from, seeing Texas, and now sort of being able to look at other people's journeys as well in MMA. I'm sure be around some amateurs, pros from all sort of levels, and seeing their journeys progress alongside your own journey. In terms of being around that sort of atmosphere in a gym, what does that sort of do for motivation if you are sort of needing it for that extra boost in a training camp?
Yeah, I was just talking to one of my training partners, Cameron Smotherman, he's in a kind of similar situation that I was in, you know, like right when you're like about to go to the next level, you're doing very well on the regional scene. You know, you got people ducking you, and you're right on the cusp of you know, gaining that next level. And I was just saying to him, you know, like, hey, I remember being in that position. It's okay to be hungry, but also like trust the process and appreciate the process. Like, you're not where you want to be right now, but you don't want to rush it. You don't want to rush the process and be there when you're not ready for it, you know. And you know, it gave him solace, you know, and because he was getting kind of frustrated and stuff like that. And so for me, that's just oh yeah, just for me. Can you hear that?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No
Yeah, but
problem.
to give them like solace and like being able to like impart knowledge and like my expertise and even like techniques and stuff like that. That's like kind of another, you know, makes my heart feel warm, you know, like, hey, I was able to, you know, yeah, I was able to help like a younger me, you know what I mean? Which is cool.
Yeah, obviously the journey in MMA, it's never an easy path, and you know, fighters that are just coming in that have had their amateur debuts, even then, they might be looking at where you are now and see that as a sort of the pinnacle. But even yourself, I'm sure there's still so much more you want to achieve. And so the journey of an MMA fighter, it's one that doesn't go too documented. Obviously, we see the build up to the fights. We know somewhat about the weight cuts, but there's obviously the financial side and sponsors. Obviously, when you're coming up, they're very hard to come across and all these sort of things. But in terms of the journey of MMA and seeing the progression of the sport as well in your time as a fighter, what has that also been like to see? And now being able to sort of be able to provide that support, as you were just mentioning then with a training partner, what's that sort of like to have?
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm grateful, you know. I'm grateful, but also I'm like I deserve it because of the work, you know. Like there's a lot of birthdays I missed. There's a lot of, you know, times with friends, time with family that I've sacrificed to get this. And it also, I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, this was worth it. You know what I mean? Like all the, you know, the late nights and the missed events and things like that. It's worth it. You know, the extra rounds I did, the extra, you know, helping teammates train for their camp, training year round, being in poverty for a long time, like it's all worth it.
100%. And then just to get back to the fight, obviously you've already said that you see it as being one-sided against this fighter. You don't really see him having much of a chance, but do you have a prediction for how you see the fight going in terms of a route to finish? Obviously, your last fight was a great head kick KO in the third round. Is that something that you're eyeing again for this fight?
Yeah, so this is what I want. This is what I want to do. So I think it's gonna get old fast for him to realize that he can't do what he wants to do, which is wrestle. And when I want to wrestle, I can wrestle whenever I want. I think that's gonna get old for him, and I think I'm gonna be able to TKO him in the second round. But what I want to do is I want to get close to TKOing him, and then like when the ref is coming in, I want to just stop completely and say, hey, ref, hold on, just give me a second. Give him a second to be okay, so I can beat the shit out of him more. That's kind of what I want to do. I want to KO him clean after the ref is like thinking about coming in. I'm gonna let him out, let him, you know, regain some composure, and then just beat the absolute shit out of him.
So would you say this is one of those where you're looking to make probably one of the biggest statements that you could make in terms of a fight? So obviously, even though obviously the build up to this, he's still a good name, he's still a good fighter, but
Yeah.
is this the fight that you're looking at to really prove that you are on just another level compared to these sort of fighters?
Yeah, I don't necessarily. I'm not looking to prove it. I'm just looking to, do what I said I was gonna do. If anybody I'm gonna prove it to is Danny. Because I feel like he's the one he's the source of. He thinks he's top shit. So I just want to prove it to him. Yeah.
100%. And then finally from me, I would say just to let a message know the fans if they don't know it, but I'm sure they already do. But if there is a message that you could just give to the fans in terms of what they can expect to see Bellator 289, what does that look like?
So Bellator 289, you're gonna see me beat up a Mickey Mouse character or a Disney character, Sid from Ice Age. You're gonna see me put an absolute beating on him. Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. It's gonna be a spectacle. Got amazing fights all around. So tune in to see an ass whooping.
100%. Well, that is everything from myself. I greatly appreciate your time. Obviously, Bellator 289. It's the card you can afford to see but can't afford to miss. Be there or be square. Got a great main event, co-main event. You got the other semi-finalist bout. You got Darren Rossi. You got everyone on there, all looking to make big statements. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much. If you just shiny sponsors, anything like that, just feel free to go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Cricket Wireless and Zero Shoes, Bola Pizza, Invincible Watches, Combat Corner, and everybody that supports me. I appreciate every one of you. Yeah, that's about it.
100%. Well, that's everything from me. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much, buddy.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKickMMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.